So listen to this. In one of the marriages of grape and ground, the French regard as mystical. In Beaujolais' sandy clay over granite, the Gamay grape, undistinguished virtually everywhere else, can produce uniquely fresh, vivid, fruity, light, but infinitely swallowable wine. Gouleyant is the French word for the way fine Beaujolais slips ineffably down the throat. Now that is an opening paragraph, and I am Ed Merrison from CellarHand. Those words, of course, come from the peerless World Atlas of Wine, and they set us up perfectly for a discussion of this, the Beaujolais-Villages of Dominique Piron. So whereabouts are we? Well, we're in France, in Burgundy, but far from the racy, flinty Chardonnay of Chablis, far from the apogee of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay that you find on the limestone slopes of the Côte d'Or. Beneath that, you have the Côte Chalonnaise, with its Pinot Noir and Chardonnay, but not quite with the lofty reputation and price tag of the Côte d'Or. Beneath that, you have the Mâconnais, with its plumper, richer, slightly more exotic Chardonnay. And beneath that, Beaujolais, a place built on the twin G's of granite and Gamay. Gamay, of course, the grape known for its vitality, for its charm, for its cherry fruit, for its pulpy raspberry texture, for its sweet spice. Now, the region runs around 55 kilometers from north to south, but the business end is up in the north. That's where you'll find the 10 so-called crus, the villages responsible for the pinnacle of Beaujolais. You'll know some of their evocative names, I'm sure. Saint-Amour, Juliana, Chenin, Moulin-Avant, Fleury, Chirube, Morgogne, Régnier, Pruy, and the Côte de Pruy. But ringing those crus are a set of villages with similar soils and almost as good potential. There are 38 of them that qualify to make Beaujolais-Village. And this one, as I said, is made by Dominique Piron. Now, this is a gentleman who, if you cut him, would bleed Beaujolais. His ancestors started out growing grapes in Morgon in 1590s, the 14th generation working there. He's also the president of Inter-Beaujolais, the regional body. Under his guidance, they came up with the idea of Beaujonomie, a contraction of Beaujolais and gastronomie, which I think sums up perfectly the idea that Beaujolais is the ideal bistro wine. If you were going to go and have a bite to eat and a drink with a good mate in a convivial setting, imagine that, this would be your go-to drink. It also calls to mind bonhomie, that French term for cheerful friendliness, which again is Beaujolais. Now, since 2013, Dominique's been joined at the domain by Julien Revillon, his business partner, who is also Beaujolais born and bred. And together they have exceptional holdings. They actually bottle 8 of those 10 crus I mentioned themselves. But we're here to talk about this Beaujolais-Village. Now, a little word on the house style here. What I love about these is these wines know exactly what they want to be. They don't overstretch themselves. They have an aim in mind, and they hit it. And that is the Gamay grape in that specific place where it's grown. The word I always think of is the French word franchise, spelt like the Australian word franchise, but basically meaning candor or openness or straightforwardness. That's what these have for me. And I suppose a reflection of that is the accessible pricing too. The Beaujolais-Village comes in with an RRP of 27 Australian dollars. So the fruit sources, well, this comes from 30 hectares of vines in the Beaujolais-Village appellation. Now, a lot of that comes from the village of Lantignier, which is actually Julien's home village, and for many people, the one touted to become the 11th cru of Beaujolais. Another big source is the village of Lancier, another very high-quality village close to Morgon. And a little bit on the vinification as well. So Beaujolais is known for a lot of rapid vinification, so extracting a lot of aroma, a lot of flavor, but not a lot of structure and substance. This, on the other hand, is made with a little bit more of a Pinot Noir sensibility, I guess you'd say. 80% of the grapes go in destemmed with 20% whole bunches, 10 days of maceration, so a fair bit of time to extract a little bit more complexity and detail from the skins of the grapes. But at the same time, it is about fruit. This is aged in stainless steel and concrete, so sees no oak in the process. So what do you get? Well, you get rose petals, you get cherries, you get juicy raspberries, you get those sweet spices, a dash of earth, and that lovely pippy red berry tang, which I love. So who would like this wine? Well, you always hear Pinot and Gamay sort of lumped in together, which is a little bit of a lazy comparison in some ways, but I guess it's also fairly helpful on a basic level because people looking for Pinot Noir tend to be looking for something charming, juicy, red fruited, something that's going to seduce the senses and not assault them. And that's exactly what you'll get with this. Gouleyant, if you like, and I'm sure you will. So if you want to know more about this wine, please check it out on cellarhand.com.au, or if you want to hear about anything else, please feel free to direct message us on Instagram at CellarHandWine, or you can write to me at Van Merrison. In the meantime, please stay safe, drink responsibly and discerningly, and thank you very much for watching.